Is this okay? Cool, we're live. All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. So we're gonna cover some stuff today. We've got things ranging from the Formula One to a coach leaving Juventus. It was kind of funny because somebody made a troll earlier today. Shout out to him. I'm pretty sure he pissed off a lot of people, but it was pretty damn funny.
Troll? What are you referencing?
Beppe made a video. It was a reel. He is out. He is out.
Oh, that yes. I was not fooled because I already knew the news before he made it, and I was like, "Oh, bait."
It was illustrious bait. We're obviously going to cover Motta. We'll spend some time seeing, which members of this squad would carry over in a Motta squad as requested by German Dave. Moise Kean is back. So there's some discussion. Should he get a new contract? We can talk about that. Timmy is apparently out of the doorway because people are pissed at Timmy because he's apparently not performing well. And Alexandro has been giving his marching orders by the Juventus staff saying that you are done here.
So why do they keep on putting him in?
I don't know. I don't know. And this one's my favorite. Mr. Gravina is being audited or put under investigation for laundering and embezzlement. Oh, how the tables turn tables. And more
Is
so.
that a saying?
It's a troll saying. It's terrible, but it is a saying. And then last but not least, Sam Milling apparently is on the chopping block. But I don't know if you have the article ready, but shall we talk about the shithousery that is going on in the Formula One world with Max Verstappen's papa and some other shenanigans there.
Is that how we're going to start it? We're just going to string them along with F1 stuff first because we're
with
flexing
F1.
with F1?
Yeah,
okay.
we're
All right, sure.
We haven't done a post-race video or anything, so it's like we got to give something Formula One, right?
I mean, we're just we're just dipping our toes into F1 and bam, here we go. So if you're not into F1, join along because it's really fun and it's Canadian Dave and German Dave doing it, so it's good. Here we go, German Dave right here, and Ancelotti got charged for tax fraud in Spain. There you go. And
what's with the Italians and money?
I don't know. I have my own, not really money, but like tax thing with the government today too. Oh my god, it's never ending. But Jos Verstappen, that's Max Verstappen's dad. If you don't know, there's a lot of parents that hang out in the paddock. It's kind of a weird thing. It's almost as if like there's like every driver has a Mama Rabbio. It's kind of like that. That's the best comparison I can make.
It seems like Formula One is like the polo of like today. Because like back then polo was like super posh, where it's like, oh, I'm better than the peasants and yada yada yada, and old money and daddies and stuff.
It a little bit.
Is that what it is? Is that what
it can be?
Is that what Formula One is, Dave? It's a bunch of rich white guys whining about stuff.
They're not all white, but the white ones tend to be bitching about that stuff is kind of how it goes. But that being said, like Alexander Eldman, like his mom was one for embezzlement or some shit as well, and she's, I believe, Thai. So I mean, it's not just the white guys.
Anyways, Jos Verstappen.
Yeah, so he had a confrontation with Christian Horner. So just to go back a little bit, Christian Horner had allegations of like being over demanding and just like I guess rude, as he hurt somebody's feelings. I don't exactly know. Nobody really knows. But after the parent company of Red Bull did the investigation, cleared him, there was a Google Drive that went out to like all the team principals, all the media, whatnot, and basically revealed what was actually said. And now like the world's out to get him, starting with Jos Verstappen basically saying you should quit. It's the best for the team. Move on. I mean, he's been the team principal since the team started for 20 years now. So it's like just move on, get on with it. So now this opens up everything because Lewis Hamilton's going to Ferrari next year. So if Max and his dad are just like, screw you, Christian, if you're not going to leave, then maybe we're going to Mercedes. So now that opens the door for Max Verstappen to go to Mercedes. But what also was happening is in 2026 with the new engine, Ford is supposed to supply Red Bull, and Ford's now saying like, you guys got to clean up your shit, or we're pulling the engine. So Red Bull could possibly be without an engine supplier come 2026 as well. It's all blowing up.
So
And that's just the midweek. That's just a Tuesday, Wednesday in the F1 world for you.
let me ask you this. So, like, for example, does Verstappen run the risk of being exposed as like a terrible racer if he goes to Mercedes? Like, for example, because like Red Bull has that car is a spaceship. And I mean,
It is.
and this isn't me like saying that Max is ass at driving, right? That's not the argument that I'm trying to go at. But like, for example, with Max going to Mercedes, would Max not be as dominant as he currently is?
He wouldn't be, no. But at the same time, if all this drama happens within Red Bull and tears the team apart, he's not going to be dominant in a Red Bull either.
You think so? I mean, at this point, the car's practically built.
But everything's changing in 2026.
Okay.
So come 2026, it could all change.
Well, I mean, he's fucked anyways because Ford engines get recalled every week. So, I mean,
Well,
don't drive a Ford.
I mean, I'd hope it's a little bit different, but that's one of the things is the reliability. And let's just say it, they use Honda right now, and I like me a Honda engine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And German Dave says the issue is deeper, Dave. So these allegations already came out on the surface in December, right around the end of last season, and Red Bull kept it under wraps.
Yeah, see, German Dave, like, he knows even more.
No,
I know stuff, and then German Dave just like takes to the next level. That's why I got him co-hosting, because he knows what's up.
Yeah, I just don't know. I just say car go fast, boom boom.
real fast. And it was actually wild too that they did the overhead shot, and I had mentioned it, and it just looked like they were just on a lazy Sunday, just kind of coming towards you, and it showed the display down below of their speed, and they were going 350 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, that's wild. Oh, that's wild. Oh. Frankie says nothing but Hondas over here. German Dave says, but not Red Bull, the Austrian part, the thigh. I said thigh. The Thai ownership wants to keep Homer and make him more powerful. And
Horner.
I can't read it. Horner and make it more powerful and blah blah blah. Get the Helmut Marko and Mitzelhoff, the CEO. Oh, they're trying to do like a full mutiny.
And yeah, Helmut Marko is like the brainchild behind everything. Vlad's just yelling Allegri, and I like it. It's gonna piss some people off.
Frankie just spammed the entire tinfoil.
He did, and we're gonna get into that. So that bought us some time, and now we have a stack of material because you guys slacked off. You guys procrastinated until like 5:28. That was 10 minutes ago, and Frankie just tossed her all in there. So now we got some material.
All right, so we'll save Allegri for the end. Allegri and Motta for the end. That is the main meat of this conversation. So Juve and a coach have officially parted ways. It was so funny. That was like nuclear heat if he got any when he did that. But
I'm sure he did. He had a bit of a smirk when he was doing it.
I know he did it he did it, and he did it in spite, and it was beautiful, and I loved every minute of it. So Juventus part ways with a coach, not the coach that people were hoping for. This might be a coach that Dave knows a little bit better than I do, because he is the one that manages the one and only Giulio Grosso. But Joe Montemuro is out as the Juventus women's manager.
I'm surprised. Like he's had a couple stumbles, most recently against Fiorentina, who's on their heels in third, but I didn't realize they were just gonna sack him. Obviously, the female side doesn't get quite the same coverage, but yeah, just woke up this morning, guy was fired.
Well, so the interesting thing about it is, so he signed a contract extension going into 26, meaning that he was going to be the women's team manager for a pretty decent long time.
And he just did that was it a couple months ago, I want to say?
Yeah, no less than 6 months ago after he put his signature to it. Though he was, Montemuro was apparently allegedly being touted to take over the United States women's national team. So he denied. In all honesty, I think though people aren't like popular with it, when it comes to the women's game, but the United States women's national team is, I think, hands down the supercar of women's teams currently right now.
Aren't
So
they going through like a bit of a
rebuild,
re-identifying? Yeah, like just
yeah,
because
because
some of their seniors are
Rapino,
gone. Yeah,
yeah, because Rapino fucked the whole system up. I mean, like,
social justice wearing her way to
God, man,
retirement.
she was terrible. Like, she was a terrible player, and then she was just using that stuff to to compensate for her being terrible. It was so dumb. But Juve have announced the move Wednesday morning, with the 54-year-old having reached an agreement to end his tenure as a manager despite the long term. So it looks like it's a mutual parting. With poor results and performances mounted in the league, and recently in the first leg of the Coppa Italia semifinals against Fiorentina, the struggles proved to be too much for him to bank on his long-term contract, and he kind of bounced. Zappella, who has served as his top assistant, has been named the interim manager for the rest of the season. And which led into the second phase of this month, corresponding the move now, which certainly points to what Juve will stick for the long term. Women's director Stefano Braghini signed a contract extension till 27. It was also announced. So their sporting director is still there, but that's it. They've got an interim manager, and they don't really know who's going to be it for the long term. So they've thrown that guy. Maybe Montemuro goes to the United States national team now. Possibly. I don't know. Seems like it. But yeah,
Worth to
so
follow, yeah, because
I'm kind of curious to see how Juve's women's team responds now.
yeah, that would be interesting. Because I mean, Julia Grosso, who's actually she's playing tonight, USA versus Canada, 10:15 Eastern time. Maybe take a nap and try to wake up for it. Hopefully, it was more exciting than the Real Madrid game today. It was just like you missed what happened because you were starting to fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? Like the two goals were beautiful, but it was just like, oh, what just happened?
What happened? Huh? Well, yeah, it's Ancelotti ball. It's pragmatic football. Of course you're gonna fall asleep. Like, come on now. Like, and people are gonna sit there and be like, Ancelotti plays an offensive style. Like, that Real Madrid game was boring as shit.
Oh, man, it was not their best showing, that's for sure.
No, it's pragmatic. It's pragmatic, just like all good Italian coaches.
Yeah, just defended. He was one up at home.
Yeah, it's pragmatic ball. The only difference is he has freaking superstars to do it, and we don't have shit. We have a makeshift Regista and Locatelli, and I don't even know what the hell half of the guys on the roster do at this point.
I got to give it to Leipzig though. They did try. They did put it at him. So
like it's like the same. It's the same idiots that were telling me, Sarri's balls handled Bayern Munich, and it's absolutely incredible. Sarri's balls, yeah. And then he got bent over and drilled from behind yesterday in Munich. Like I told everybody. Like, how do you sit back with a man advantage being up a goal and not go for two? Like, holy hell. Like, it was just ridiculous.
Jesus.
I'm done yelling.
Yeah, and Dave, if you caught that, go just watch all of David Ellitock's, or read all of
just read all of Dave's comments,
all of that. He explained everything in like minute detail with the whole Red Bull Christian Horner situation stuff. I just learned a whole bunch of stuff there that goes real deep. So
moving on to some more people that are allegedly being sent out, and it starts with Illing Jr. Illing Jr. is apparently not in the good graces of the senior management.
I've been calling it, man.
It's just not that good.
Make your cash off and move on.
So can we I knew it was like one of those things, right? Where it's like, there's no way in hell we have 7 amazing youngsters that are all playing amazingly well and are all world class. It's not possible. Vinny is made for UCL nights. Scores even when he's not at his best. Looking at you, Chiesa. Wow, Vlad with the passive aggressiveness. Illing Jr. though. So moving on to that. So Illing Jr. is likely to leave this summer. No, it's from Tudo Sport. There's no actual like destinations on where he will go. I would hope that he goes to England, because you sell him to a newly promoted Premier League team and you get 30 million from him.
Like a Southampton or something like that.
If you're able to get 30 for Illing, you won. I'm sorry, like I don't see the capabilities in the tangibles that would say that this guy is worth a crap ton of money. Like you can, you can piss
20.
and whine about Allegri this, Allegri that. I don't see Illing being a player that's worth X amount. Because I know Illing was touted at 20. I think that was the original price tag that they set for him. But
Yeah, and he's at 10 to on transfer market.
yeah,
So
you know,
which has raised, right? Like 20 was like the premier tax.
yeah, I would go for it. And then David says, "Can we go position by position after that, Dash?" Vlad and me are made for these. Are you talking about like the final discussion where we talk about the formation switchover or the player switchover, German Dave? Or are you talking about players that are going to get sent out? And
And
then go
I
ahead.
would Vlad's saying I'd accept 25. I think
For
would
Illing,
have to
yeah.
be realistic. Honestly, 25 would be probably the most we would get for him. And he hasn't really.
He doesn't have the tangibles. I just don't
Yeah.
think he has the tangibles to be worth that much. Like he's a middle of the road English player. There's nothing wrong with it, right? It's like I'm not expecting Juve's youth program to be like fucking La Masia where you pop out 7 world class athletes in one go. It's just it's not there. And then the next player, the management have informed Alexandro that his time with Juventus have officially come to an end. So Alexandro will officially be leaving at
Yeah,
the end
he
of this
got
season.
he got his records, whatever, move on.
Yeah, so see you later. Sayonara. Have fun in Brazil. The next one here is Timmy Weah. So Timmy Weah could leave Juventus in the summer. The United States international has been disappointing since his arrival last summer. I don't. So this is interesting, right? So Timmy, is it disappointing? The dude was only worth 12 million. So like, is
Yeah.
there?
He's definitely a depth piece. He was always a depth piece. We probably used him a bit more than that, and because we've started to expect a bit more, I suppose. And he's playing. Okay, let's look him up. Actually, transfer market since I'm here. I'm just typing Timmy. Timothy. Oh man. Uh, yeah. So he's at 14, and the transfer was 11. Yeah, so 11 probably with a bit of bonus. So what do you expect from a $12 million player?
There's not really
That's
much.
he plays he's exactly what you expect. It's just that we have to use him more than we need to or want to because of our situation, and then it's like, oh shit, like this is what we got.
Like, yeah, that's why I'm a little bit confused when they're disappointed. Like, what were they expecting him to do? Like, what was the expectation for Timmy? Like, was he supposed to, you know, outdo like Cambiaso? I think really shocked the world. Same thing with McKennie, and then Weah was hurt for a good chunk. So it's like I don't know. I mean, Weah was always a low risk, high reward player. I mean, it was only 10 mil. Like I just 10 mil plus bonuses, but like I I don't understand that sentiment. But if he leaves, he leaves. If he doesn't, I don't know. As long as you make even off of it, if he's on for 10, 15.
Transfer market says 14, so he's gone up a little bit in
Yeah, I mean,
value.
if you're able to break even on what you've paid for him, I wouldn't call that a win, but I still think you give Timmy Weah another season.
He might just be one of those guys that's like, oh hey,
Am,
remember back
am
in
I?
24 way you played?
Yeah, he's like Asamoah, really, right? Like, cause like people were like, "What the fuck? Who's Asamoah?" Because like Asamoah was the starter, and then you got Evra, and then you got Alexandro, and then Asamoah was still on the roster at the time, and everyone's like, "What the hell's who's Asamoah?"
So
Right?
yeah,
Like,
again, like you wouldn't just pull him out and you just mentioned him. It was like, oh yeah, that's right.
yeah,
He
oh
played for
yeah,
Juve.
played for Juve, or like Pedwin, or Pepe, or Nicholas Bentner. Like it's just like they're low purchase options and they were just there. Though I do think, like, for example, oh well, JJ's here. I think is there hate on Weah?
Obviously, Obviously, there is because we're talking about it.
No, yeah, but like I understand where it's like Tudo Sport that's saying that like, oh yeah, Weah's on the way out, like not impressing, but like what was the expectation for Timmy? Like I don't understand if there is like a ridiculous amount of criticism that's coming towards him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he hasn't met our expectations, but we have to ask ourselves what those expectations are. That's the question that these people that just throw this shit out on the internet, they've never actually answered what the expectations were. So why are we getting mad?
Yeah, it's just like he was always a rotational piece.
Frankie's
Like,
just going, he's
that's
American and
oof,
black is why. I mean,
oof.
there might be a couple people
I
out
was
there
say,
like that. I don't know.
Hey, Moise Keane is Italian and black, and people hated him for not celebrating, which I thought was the stupidest thing ever. Weah is a perfect bench player. That was the expectation I had for him. So it wasn't like I
And
don't.
Hamza met him there a couple weeks ago and said he's super chill.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Weah's always been like a Juventino because of his dad. His dad and him are Juventinos. Likes the club.
I'm okay with him sticking around. Man. He's just cheap.
He's a cheap bench player, right? Like that's kind of what it is. Like
yeah, no, he's cool.
it's
He's
not.
cool, man.
Someone will clip us out of context and say, "Look at these two talking about how Tim Weah is an incredible player for Juventus."
Whatever, let them clip it.
Like it's not even. That's not even what the expectation is. Like if the current iteration of Weah is your 38 game starter and he's not performing well, that's a different conversation. The dude's barely featuring. It's like, okay, like we bought him for 10 million. I wasn't expecting him to start 38 games. If we bought him for 40 million, then it's a different conversation.
Could we also mention the fact that we tossed him in as a right wing back?
Well, and then also figure it in with Cambiaso, right? Like we paid what 6 to 8 million for Cambiaso because of the Dragusin addition to the deal. So it's like Cambiaso, if Cambiaso wasn't playing well, no one would lose their mind either because it was a cheap.
Oh, they would be.
Would they? Would they say?
So.
Would there be an article on Tudo Sport?
Yes, absolutely, there would be.
I don't know. That to me just seems a little bit of blasphemy. I don't know.
So, man, I'm trying to look. So maybe I'll just share it because it's a little bit back and forth. The Cambiaso deal here on Transfer Market. Just so you see what I'm seeing. Okay, so it starts here. Left Genoa for Juventus.
Bologna?
No, it says no. Left Genoa for Juventus.
Oh, I'm reading 22-23.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm at the third line. I'm at the third line. Keep up, Dash.
I'm keeping up.
Genoa, Juventus.
I'm keeping up.
For 12.85 million. Then Juventus to Bologna for a loan fee of 2 million. And then an 8 million. Or that was that. Sorry. And then that was the end of the loan. And his market value was at 8 at that point.
So it was 5. Yeah, or it was 12, right? Because I think Dragusin factored into the 12.
12.85. And then we loaned him. So we got a couple mil back. And then there was, Dragusin, which this won't show. But, I mean, look at his trajectory. And even when he came, he was at 10, and now he's at 15 at, like, 60%, 70% of a season. Yeah. Decent.
Well, and
but hold on.
Okay.
Allegri kills careers.
He does. He killed Cambiaso's career.
Clever.
It'd be funny if Cambiaso leaves and goes to Real Madrid. They'll say Carlo Ancelotti made Cambiaso into a world-class player because people will do it in spite. Speaking of players, Dragusin. Remember when everybody was losing their shit about Dragusin when he went to Tottenham for like 30 million? Like, is Dragusin even like popping off? Because they're like,
he's what he is.
We have Ganti and we should have kept Dragusin, and it's like it's not that big of a deal. Like, is Dragusin even playing consistently? I haven't seen anyone stroke him off anymore.
And we're not in a situation, really, that we need center backs.
No.
We need We need Cambiaso's position. I mean, he can switch from a wing back to a midfielder as well. He's more valuable to us, even just for squad composition than Dragusin is. Like, if you got to look at the whole picture. Like, Dragusin, he'd be like, what? Who do I put in? Him or Alexandro? Alexandro needs to get a record for the vibes of it. So, Sandro, Dragusin, your bench. That's what would be happening.
Well, and it's funny because, like, and even Frankie confirms it here, Dragusin barely plays for Tottenham.
Yeah.
So it's like...
So I'm happy with the deal.
Everybody was just like, yeah, he's only played 3 games. And let me see the injury extent on him.
Well, yeah, I can get that.
I'm gonna pull it up here. I don't see anything on how long his injury is. But 8 minutes played, 3 matches, 8 minutes played.
Ooh, yeah. So
he got hurt.
Imagine if it was at the Olympico.
Yeah, it's just like people gotta chill on some of this stuff. Like, I don't understand, like, the absolute mind-numbing freakness that is going on in this. But here's something that is going to make you lose your shit. From Sport Blid, Juventus would be interested in signing Thomas Mueller, 34 years old, if he left Bayern Munich for free at the end of the season. You know, when I said we needed an experienced veteran in the middle of the field, Thomas Mueller is not what I had in mind, nor do I ever want in mind. Respect to Tommy Mueller.
You're not a Mueller fan, are you?
But no. I need a veteran regista, not a veteran Instagram material guy for the Juve channel, because that's what he would be. Because don't get me wrong, Mueller's fucking hilarious. I've seen some of the stuff he's done at Bayern. Mueller's funny. But that's not what I need him for. At 34 years old, where are you going to put him? If it's a 4-3-3, no way in hell he plays. If it's the 3-5-2, what is he going to do? Be a deputy to Vlahovic? And how many games are you going to get out of him for that?
He needs to replace Sandro as just the old dude.
Just the old dude that's just the old contract space. That's literally what Thomas Mueller is. Like, don't get me wrong. Incredible career. Great career.
Yeah, I like the guy, but I always ask these questions, like, why?
Is Sport Blid just bored as shit and just like, hey, let's link Thomas Mueller to Juventus? Because that doesn't make sense.
So, okay, I have to retract just being the random old dude, because David here is saying, no, he's not hilarious. Even here, we call him cringe. He has that weird uncle at Thanksgiving humor, so he would be the replacement for Bonucci.
The proper Bonucci replacement. Proper Bonucci replacement. Like, where does Sandro, or not? God damn it, I'm thinking about Sandro. That doesn't make sense. Like, where would Mueller even go? Like, Mueller wouldn't fit in a Allegri system. He wouldn't even fit in a Motta system. I don't know. Like,
the question too, we have to ask: how much does that cost on a contract? Like 10 million? I don't know. What's he making now? That's the first question. Contracts. Let's see. What's he got? Yeah, so he's extended till June. Oh, so it's next year. He goes till 25. So what's this even about?
I think he has an option. That's why I think that's his option there.
Oh, the option. Regardless, it's just how much do you have to pay to woo him to come to you?
Yeah, I don't. That doesn't make sense to me.
And you don't have that growth decree anymore in Italy as well, so you're not saving on the taxes. It's not.
He is the Reitmunder. He is the Ramduter. He will be all over the field.
Okay, so we clearly just got like...
I don't.
We just like, okay, no, we're done. So moving on then.
As German Dave says, dude is earning $20 million a season at Bayern.
Yeah, fuck that.
Vlad says Mueller replaces Case.
And thanks for looking that up. I couldn't get it quick enough on the fly. So from Robio Gresti, Sorry, yeah. Did he had
Are you
something
going?
else?
Are you reading the new coach thing?
Yeah.
Let's save that one for the end. We'll
Oh,
save
because
that.
we want to roll into.
Yeah, we
Okay,
want.
Patrick Dorgu.
Yeah, Patrick Dorgu, Lecce left back, has been added to Juve's fullback shopping lists for this.
I have this thing.
You have this
If I
thing?
got him on my FIFA team, you got to buy him.
Okay.
He's on my FIFA team. You got to buy him.
He's got good potential as a left back. He's got pace, aggression. Like I think he's a pretty good.
Yeah, it's an 86 now.
Yeah, he's
28-29 season.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
no, he's good.
He's a decent option. I think he's a good option.
Yeah, I like him.
This kind of fuels the speculation. Like, what the hell's the formation going to be?
4-3-3 or whatever.
Yeah, at this
4
point,
4-2-3-1. I don't know if Motta, what was it for? We're gonna get into it.
look, this is good, right? He's 19 years old. He's playing for Lecce. I've got no issues with having a player like this on your shopping cart because you've already got Cambiaso. That's effectively your starter, and if you're switching to a 4-3-3, I think Cambiaso would be your left back, and McKennie or Weah would be your right back as things stand currently. So, hey, man,
He's valued at 7. Cheap.
yeah, I don't see an issue with it. I think that's good business because you need something in the hopper. Because, look, man, what's to stop Real Madrid from offering Cambiaso 17 million a season to come play left back at Real Madrid? Nothing. Like, with all due respect, Cambiaso's not a Juventino. Was he like, oh yeah, Juve or die? No, man. Like
Oscar Patrick Dorgu,
Dorgu.
who I'm looking at.
This guy.
He's got Danish citizenship, so I would expect you to kind of know who this guy is.
Yeah, come on, Oscar. He's slacking. Yeah, we're talking about
Are we?
Dorgu.
Yeah. Okay, I think he must know. Yeah. No, it's an exciting young prospect, valued at 7 million. Sure. I mean, you'd probably have to pay double. So yeah, I think that'd be exciting if we're doing a 4 at the back, which maybe I'm buying in. Like I said, I'm buying in. Yeah, see, Oscar knows. He knows his brethren there. Look at these nerds. He's insane. So we're fans. All right, everyone's a fan here. So we say yes. And shall we move on to Tuto Sports?
Yeah, so it's all Tuto Sport. It's continuing. So 2 additional targets that have been added from the back line is Marui and Lucas Vasquez. And if I hear that name Lucas Vasquez again, I will slam my computer because no.
You missed out half of the first guy's name. Say that again.
What is it? Marui?
Mazrari. Oh man, I can't even do
Mar-
it properly, but you missed half of it.
I
Mazrari.
Isn't the Z silent?
Monsieur Mazrari. I don't know.
thought the Z
Somebody's
was
going to
silent.
correct us. Somebody
Yeah,
just tell us how to do it.
I thought the Z was silent.
Yeah. Dash.
Mazrari?
Cambiaso is a Juventino. Do your homework.
Everybody's a Juventino, then Real Madrid comes in with 15 million a season. Oh, I love Madrid. Hala Madrid. Like, dude, come on. I'm sorry. Like, at this point, if Real Madrid is offering you the bag and consistent elite level play, you take it. I hate being that guy, but you take it. You would be dumb not to.
You love being that guy.
I think the only reason Dusan's not taking it because I think Dusan knows his ass would be ran out of town if he fucks up one game. And that's one of the thing about Real Madrid fans. If you're amazing, they will love you. You fuck up one game, they're asking for your ass on the plane next flight out. Like, dude, that is I think playing for Real Madrid is one of the highest pressure situations you can be as an athlete. Like, I know we are too, to an extent in Italy, but when it comes to like the world stage, I think Madrid players have probably hands down the most pressure when it comes to it, especially if you're young and you're coming into that roster. Like, let's be honest here. Madrid is hands down the best franchise that's out there when it comes to footy. There's nothing that tops them.
And if you fuck the club, Florentino Perez just like puts out a hit on your family.
He's like the Darth Vader of football. He really is. And it's also I get all the shitty old guys anyways. The only ones I want are Cruz and Jorginho, but even those will never happen. I know as much as the Jorginho thing will never happen, I'm disappointed in it, but I would love to see KB just got his gaming monitor flex up.
Ooh, and Mizrahi is a Pimenta
Client.
client. So
That
Pogba connection.
Yes, that might help us. And David says also playing for Real Madrid is the highest honor for an athlete, which that is 100% true.
Unless you play one of those weird sports like tennis where you just play for yourself.
And Delit. So there's another player. I forgot his name. There's two other players.
I want to try to pronounce this.
Go for it.
Nordjylland. Let me know how I did.
Absolutely atrocious.
You don't know? Jeez.
I'm just messing with you.
Oscar, let me know. So he's a fanboy. Right on. Missouri do well in La Huga. Did I say that right?
Lechuga.
Lechuga? You didn't pronounce the
Lechuga.
Okay.
Lechuga.
Soft, but you pronounce it.
David says, I don't think Real Madrid would buy him. They're pretty in advanced talk for your fellow Canadian Davies. Yeah, if they buy Davies, I don't think I wouldn't think. Well, I don't know.
Very bad. All right. Sorry.
Here's what I think, though. Carvajal is, towards the twilight of his career. What's to stop them from saying, hey, Cambiaso, you want to come in and play right back for us? It is real. The threat of Cambiaso going to Real Madrid, I think, is still pretty plausible.
Yeah, it could happen.
I like, for example, I think Cambiaso has a higher chance than Chiesa or Dusan to go to Real Madrid. As crazy as that sounds.
Cambiaso, 50 mil.
I could see Cambiaso going in and playing as a right wing or as a right back. Another player that is coming back to Juve, if you catch my jokes here, Moise Kean. Moise Kean has returned to full training and is expected to be available for the weekend match. Which another thing opens up as well is, should Juventus give Moise a new contract, because his contract is expiring soon? There is talks. There's not really, I don't know, there hasn't been anything really demonstrated on the future of Moise, where he's going or what's going to happen with Moise per se. So let me ask you, Dave, what do you think? You think Moise should get signed to another contract, or should he just, ride this one out and then adios, muchacho?
He's worth something, so it'd be silly to just let him go. He is a good depth player. I would at least want to see him recover, try to get a couple more games in, just see where he's at, see where his mentality is at before I'm just like, no. Like, there's time. We don't have to decide today, essentially, right? You can wait till May or so to see. And I would say even then, I would just, even if it's in 1 year, yeah, why wouldn't you extend him? The worst is that he's a depth piece and he comes in, does some minutes. Fuck it. Yeah. We know he's got potential.
He's got it. Yeah.
Get your value up, Moise.
Get your value up, Moise, so we can sell you. Wow, that sounds so dark and terrible.
Yeah, because there is no value right now. So the worst he can do is build.
Well, I mean, if he drops a new mixtape, his value will go up.
Yeah. I would hope he was working on it with his injury, all that extra time.
Write some new lyrics, drop some heat. But yeah, Moise will be back. We shall see Moise again. And another player that is being allegedly Juve are looking at is Robin Lenormand. He is from Real Sociedad, and Giuntoli was seen at the match of Real Sociedad and PSG last night. He has a 60 million release clause, and he is a defender. So if you want to look him up on the old transfer market, Robin L-E, and then Normand.
Normand.
That says renew Keane. We need his got. So that is who Giuntoli was watching. So 8 caps, 1 goal, 40 million. His value is fucking high. Yeah. He's 27, and he is a center back.
Yeah. If you play a fourth back, you need another center back that's worth something like that.
So this is where I kind of throw my tinfoil hat on. So if Robin is being scouted, that means Juve might cash in on Bremer.
But then who's your other number 1 center back?
This is going to be the guy.
Your number 2. Him, and then who?
Federico Gatti or Danilo. We'll get into that when we get to the board.
Yes, yeah. I would. Okay.
So he was at the match scouting him. So Vlad says he's a Spanish Calafiore. It's Junto is like, hey, I want a Calafiore, and then they're like, Spain's like, we got one of those at home, and it's Nomand. That's funny. Yeah. So I think outside of the other Charlie, the Arsenal Charlie, which apparently he is still thinking about potentially joining Juve as a kid. That's pretty much all the player links that we've gotten so far. So I think now
No,
before
there's
I'm
a
gonna,
couple. There's a couple dumb things from Frankie.
okay, yeah, I was reading I think we got through it all. We just have the Milan bra and then Dillit
Yes.
talking smack again.
So why do I care about a Milan bra and panty set? If somebody is dumb enough to buy that shit for their wife, they deserve to get divorced.
So Delit talking about Juve again. So he was asked, I don't know why. Whenever this guy's played, why do they ask him about Juve, or does he just want to talk about Juve? It's just corny at this point. Like the dude had an assist, and now he's like, I can talk about Juve now because I've actually done something for once. So DeBench says Juventus, obviously they lost a few games now, but they're doing a good job with the youngsters. Allegri created a good group. For me, they are a team fun to watch. Ooh, wow, all the Allegri out people are going to blow their minds. Allegri has created a good group. Obviously, Inter are incredible this year, but I hope they can continue like this. They are second in the standings. I hope they make the Champions League so I can come back and actually play. Delict's words, not mine.
So
Bremer's Rob.
yeah, no, I
see
mean
what he did. I see what he did there.
That's like Batman and Robin. So that's what I would prefer to see, right? Like Bremer is our number one. We need his Robin. Absolutely.
And I think at this point, I think it's fair to say, like, I think it's if we switch to a back four, then that means we're relegating Gatti to the bench.
And that's okay.
I don't have an issue with that.
That is okay.
He
comes on, plays like Frosinone, something like that. Sure, that is okay.
Yeah, gosh, man. And speaking of players cooking, Luis Hassa absolutely cooking on the next gen today as well. Just absolutely incredible.
Oh yes, Hassa. There was request to talk Hassa. Yes, Hassa scored. Next gen opened up with 4 of them. Just made him look dumb.
Absolutely just hot right now. Just killing it. All right, so we're gonna go into the main segment now because we're getting past the 40-minute mark, so we don't want to draw this.
Dash was falling asleep again before we started, so it's we got to get him back to bed.
You gotta condense it, make
But first, because it's an interlude, and I even put the banner there to remind myself, because Dash, I always say we're bad, but you never remember.
I know.
You never remember.
I'm old. I don't give a shit.
I'm so much older than you. Guys, the Discord, the likes and subscribes. You know the drill. You got to like the video. You got to push us in the algorithm. We got to start hammer that algorithm as well. Where all the fun stuff happens is in the Discord. So just scan that barcode right there. There's also a link in the description. This is where we got everything we talk about tonight. The crew, everyone here in the chat, they just throw articles at us. They just throughout the week, just it comes all over all the time. We talk the F1 stuff. We talk the bullshit. We talk the WWE, the NFLs. We talk everything. Absolutely. Oh, and we were picking out ones today for obsolete. It was obsolete Enigma.
It was a great game. Oh, Hogwarts Legacy is an amazing game.
I hate that stupid witch. I don't care. I'm not a fan of that witch. But anyways, what's his name?
Which? What?
The witch. What's his name?
Harry Potter?
Legacy. Harry Potter. That dude. Or a wizard? Is he a wizard?
Yeah, it's a wizard.
Yeah, screw that guy. I don't like him.
It's like a prequel. There's no Harry Potter in that at all.
Regardless.
Yeah.
We were picking out wands this afternoon.
Dave is not a man of culture.
I was never into it. My girlfriend at the time, I was like 18 or whatever, made me watch the first 2 movies actually. I was just like,
She play with your wand?
No. Like She
That's why
coerced.
he hates it. That's why.
No, it was crap. She coerced me one time because I love brownies. They were not even the good kind of brownies, right? And she just got a bag. She's like, "Oh, I got brownies for you. Come to the movies. I'll give you some brownies." Because she knew brownies. I love brownies.
Like, brownies. That sounds really innuendo. I wonder what that is.
No. I knew what she meant. I knew because they're my favorite dessert. I love brownies. I just absolutely love them. So I pick her up. She tosses me this bag of fucking 2-bite brownies, pieces of shit. Watch this crap ass movie. Nothing's good about it.
And Dave is forever scarred. All right. Let's read up on this chat before we get into it. So if Napoli draws with Barca and they win with penalties, does it count as a win or a draw for the FIFA? That is a good question because on paper it's registered as a draw, and they advance by penalties. So I don't think it counts. But we would have to see it get released after the round ends. I'm not too sure.
That's a really good question. That's an excellent question. And if somebody has that, man, I would just I would make out with you if we were not over the internet. That's how valuable that information is.
Oh, I see.
Unlike my girlfriend who took me to Harry Potter.
And gave him brownies and didn't play with his wand. Unfortunately, you are not a wizard, Dave.
Fucking bullshit.
Dave, you talking about Højbjerg wanting to leave in the summer? I don't know. I don't really care too much about Højbjerg. He's a Man United player. I'm fine with Gatti on the bench as he can come on as a defensive attacking option later in the game. Our attackers are non-existent.
And this from the one that only Frankie Stan, the man who is absolutely, he's got. I shouldn't have said that. He's Frankie the Gatti Stan.
This is the thing though that I appreciate about Frankie that I'm tipping my cat off. Frankie loves Gatti, but is capable enough to call him out on bullshit, right? Like if Gatti messes up, Frankie's the first guy to sit there and say Gatti fucked up. That's what I love about Frankie, man. Frankie can give you an objective take on Gatti. Hasa should have played versus Napoli. Shit, don't get me excited.
So what's up with Vince McMahon?
He likes to pee on people. That's pretty much the story about Vince McMahon.
Doesn't Usher like to do that too? Is that Usher?
I don't know.
Or was it Kanye? Kanye does.
Apparently, like Vince was like, because I don't know what's safe for you, what's kosher for YouTube as far as like terminology and stuff like that. But like, and also like I haven't read up to. I know it vaguely about what Vince did, but like again, it's an ongoing court procedure. It's pretty much
it's all alleged. It's
all alleged, right? He allegedly extorted a check and was like, I'll give you a job if you do blah blah blah, and then he's like, if you don't, then I'll just hit you with the good old. Yeah! And that's pretty much in a nutshell.
Yes, and
Harry.
All I gotta say, guys, is you have to eat your greens.
Gompatrio is telling you, Dave, come in my van, little boy. There's brownies.
They better be homemade on that 2-bite shit.
LJJ is just laughing there. Vlad says, so you're that easy, Dave.
Listen, I was 18. Remember how just like think about when you were an 18-year
the Tottenham midfielder. That's what Højbjerg is. That's right. That guy.
That guy. Just think about when you were 18. Everything went through your dick.
It still does if it works properly.
But like you thought with your dick, you couldn't think straight. It was just like all the blood went down there.
Man,
I was easy. I was 18. Really? Of course, I was easy.
Just be a humping zombie. LJ says, I like players with grinta like Gatti. So like here's the thing, like kind of like the double-edged sword with Gatti. Gatti will give you the grip, but also Gatti sometimes makes some really stupid decisions.
Absolutely. Like R. Kelly, JC, thank you. That's who it was.
Because for example, grinta can get you only so far where it's like your grit won't compensate for some of the stupid intangibles that you don't have. Which is why I think he's good as I'm not casting him off, right? I'm not going to cast him aside and say, sell him and get rid of him. I think he takes more time, builds more experience. I think he'll be good, right? It'll help him grow to the point to an extent. Like I said, I don't think we should put him on a boat and just send him out to die. His grunts, it'd be funny. Just his grunts go both ways because sometimes he tries too much like Vince McMahon. All right. So Romeo Agresti on Juventus says, new coach for me, up and coming, rampant, fresh coach. So again, this is Agresti's opinion, people, not him saying Juve's opinion. I don't expect Conte, for example. Juve is in a phase that if it changes, and for me it changes, it must take a dictatic coach with a different type of football, a pitchman. That's kind of cryptic as hell.
A
You kind of
didactic.
you kind of just threw that up there.
Yeah, didactic. I actually don't. Didactic. What does that mean?
Dyke is
Intended to teach, particularly in having moral instruction as an ulterior
so
motive.
what that means is they're looking for a babysitter instead of a tactician. That's honestly what that means. Like when you're looking at a coach that is in that perspective, you're looking at a coach to train players because the players that you have cannot play for shit. Dave's great got him crappy.
I was young. I had lots to learn.
He did. Gompacho says, I just hope he learns how to step in front of forwards instead of getting boxed out, which is true. David says, it's just a non-statement because he doesn't know anymore or can't say more.
Yeah, it's just he's just saying things because he was asked a question and just kind of skirted around it because that's his job. But that being said, should we not just talk about who has been linked incessantly?
Santi from what in Misak sent this a couple days ago, right? From Santi Auna. Auna. With Thiago Motta is now the absolute top candidate of Juventus to replace Massimiliano Allegri at the end of the season. The Italian manager is open for the job, but that doesn't remain 100%, but wants to remain 100% focused on Bologna at the moment. So obviously, I think that's going to be it, right? Motta's going to be the guy that comes in, and to be honest with you, I really don't know how I feel about this, right? Because it's like, for me, I understand with Motta coming in, what you're getting with Motta. You in that the question that I have is that take, right? And this is where it kind of gets funny, right? Because IFTV posted that Juve are linked with Motta. So unfortunately for you guys, the IFTV jinx is alive and well.
leaving.
So he's never leaving. Allegri for 8 more years. End the show. Boom, we're done. With Motta, I don't know. For me, like, it's just they're looking. So with Agressi saying that they're looking for a coach that teaches, right? That's teaching players how to play. Is that Motta?
So maybe not so much from like what we think as a Conti, Allegri, and an Ancelotti, perhaps like this old wise man, but more from a younger profile that is more connected with the youngsters because it's more relatable and able to kind of like bring him up from more grassroots level. That's kind of how I see that.
That changes everything, right? Because now that opens the door to Pioli. That opens the door to Italiano. That opens
Since
the door to
Pioli
Palladino.
might be getting fired.
Yeah, De Zerbi might Milan looking to bring in De Zerbi. Which
Talk about that's pretty funny.
I will be interested if De Zerbi has the balls to take the Milan job.
I would love to see it.
I don't think he has the balls to go to Milan. I really don't.
Love to see it.
I would love to see it, but I that would be the biggest gasp if Motta means weed. Thiago needs
weed to
Jesus.
Just
I would say this. That is the one thing I want to see if De Zerbi actually takes that Milan gig. I would be curious because then I would take back a lot of the things I've said about him. But with Thiago Motta coming to Juve, allegedly, right? We don't know if it is for sure, but Sal just sent me something in Discord.
Sal, we haven't seen Sal in forever.
He just tagged me. That's it. Huh.
Interesting. Sal, why aren't you here?
Yeah. So De Zerbi was sacked after 6 months after he joins the club, which is true. David says if the meme with holding up the same picture, if they want to change structure, they need to go for a different direction than Motta.
I don't know if they want to go in different direction. It's Juve. They don't go in different direction typically. They tried that with Sarri and Pirlo, and again, this is all. If Allegri leaves, who is the next best affordable, available profile that meets the criteria? And I gotta say that it's probably Conte or Motta. And do you want to bring back Conte?
The only, so like, for example, the biggest difference, like, what are you getting differently with Motta than Allegri? Besides
And,
Xerxes.
and we might just get that anyways for 30 mil. But so this is assuming that Allegri wants to leave, perhaps that
Assume
he's going to
Allegri's out the door.
divorce.
Assume Allegri's out the
Yeah,
door.
and that's why we need to get. It's not so much that we're firing Allegri. It doesn't really matter how it happens, but because it's hypothetical at this point. We're just assessing Motta if for whatever reason he ends up coming to the club. And Dash, you're also tasked with doing a tactical breakdown.
Well, we were gonna do like which player would survive the
Ooh,
replacement,
the witch hunt. Okay.
the witch hunt per se. No, but like I don't like. For example, the question is like what would be the difference? Because like for example, right now Motta's winning, but Motta's winning in a pragmatic style, which means is you're outperforming your expected goals per match. So he's scoring more than he's expected. We were scoring more in February or in January than we were expected to score, and now we've kind of hit where we are expected to score. Essentially, we've kind of hit that lull. So Motta hit that lull for a little bit as well too, and everyone's like, "Oh, maybe he's not the guy." Yada yada yada. Right? I my question is, right? What is different if you get Motta? Like, there is there anything different
I
that
think
would
it's
be
just
added?
I think it's just a fresher approach.
I think it's just a fresh
Yeah,
face, right?
yeah. I don't think it's anything substantially different. There's going to be differences, of course there is. I mean, even just how he and we accuse Allegri of this, the bad changes, the late changes. I don't know, maybe Motta handles that better. Maybe he handles it. There's these in the game moments that will be different with just how they think about everything. But the overall strategic look at the team will be roughly similar, I believe.
Yeah, because like that's what I'm saying. Like the only main difference is you're gonna switch to the 4-3-3. The other thing is it's like, okay, so what do we do currently right now? We attack from the wings. What does Motta do? He attacks from the wings. It's not different.
You guys are just like throwing every name out there now. Come on, guys.
Yeah, they're just doing it. That's actually kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. So I am going to show this and we're gonna kind of do like the evolution of what a Juve with Motta would look versus an Allegri.
And this is perfect timing because I gotta put
He's
the
got to put his
ladies
cocks.
away.
He's got to put his
There's
cocks away.
and like no joke, my neighbor showed me a picture of a lynx. We got a lynx in the area, and it's huge.
So
I,
you've got a pussy that wants to see your cocks.
yeah, I gotta make sure they're put away because I don't
Gives-
trust this thing's massive. So I'll be right back, guys.
So when we're doing, so let's have some fun here. So when we're doing, again, we're playing devil's advocate with Allegri out. So when we switch the formation here, and I'm going to take Charlie out because Charlie's technically not the starter. I don't have a, oh, there we go. We have Rabiot here. So this is kind of currently how we look. And I have to add a Danilo here because I don't have one. So throw in number 6, go away ads. So currently 3-5-2 under Allegri. We've got Kostic on the left, Rabiot, Locatelli, Cambiaso in the middle, McKennie there let me do this, make it a little bit more legit. McKennie's there. You've got a back three of Danilo, Bremer, Gatti, Dusan, and Chiesa. So this is on paper your best starting X. So when we switch over to Motta, so it's going to essentially become a 4-3-3. So now I'm going to assume that I'm going to say Gatti gets the short end of the stick here. It becomes Bremer, Danilo. I can maybe Kostic is probably not going to make it. I'm going to assume, and this is what we currently have. So I don't know about Giallo. Maybe Giallo might go here. I think Giallo's what, number 4? I don't know. I think so. Cambiaso, we'll slide Cambiaso here. I'm going to slide Weah here right now for the time being. And then I'm going to move McKennie on. Or no, let me do this. I'm going to switch McKennie for Weah. So your back line is Cambiaso, Danilo, and Bremer, and McKennie. And then you'll have, I think I'm going to put Fajoli here. I think Fajoli's still 44. And then probably Whale like this. This is how you would look like. That's the only thing I could see us looking at right here. Oh, wait. Fajoli's 33? The number? And okay, let's see what you say, David. Starting on the left side, make this a little bit smaller. Trying to balance this correctly. There we go, so you guys can see it better. Okay, starting on the left, I would keep Cambiaso as the number one and Kostic as the rotational piece because he's still an assist machine. Antonio says Rugani and Bremer as your center backs. That's interesting. Compatro says 69. David says 33. Jello's 33. Okay. I'd rather wait for Zinedine Zidane or Klopp. Fajoli is 21. Okay. So he did change his number. I think bringing in DiGiorno and send him back on loan for a year, Soperin, even though that hurts. DiGiorno, he's as the goalkeeper. Fajoli's 21. Jello's 33. Okay. So with what we currently have, I think this is what we would line up as. Vlad wants to throw Danilo as a right back. Okay, so who is your other center back? So this is Dash's formation. How about you guys type me in the chat what formations you want to see and we'll talk about it. So what I'm thinking about here, the reason why I'm a little bit concerned is when you're playing this system, so with what he likes to do, what Mr. Motta does is he does what we call a 2-7-2 from a tactical perspective. So there's no marker. So 2 players are responsible for this quadrant, 7 are responsible for this quadrant, and 2 are responsible for that quadrant. So these 2 players are essentially on their own there. And that's what generally he's going to play, is going to be that 4-3-3. So this is going to be essentially a double pivot offense. So this is your first pivot, and then this is your second pivot. So it's going to be very dependent on the hold-up play of your striker that facilitates play to the wide plays here, and your wingers are going to have to invert to score. That's why Orsolini is having a ridiculously good season, is the ability to invert and score on the edge. This is what I'm thinking would happen per se. Motta will definitely not play a 4-2-3-1 with Juve. It's going to be a 4-3-3. David says Jallo to the left, Bremer and Danilo to the right. So you want to put Jallo here. Okay. Give me your full 10 lineup that you would think. And then Chiro says back four of Cambiaso, Danilo, Bremer, and Weah. And then Vlad says Danilo is not old for a right back. Okay. So we'll play with Vlad's formation. So Vlad wants to throw Danilo here. Okay, Vlad. So who else do we put as your center back? That would be the question that I would have here. So German Dave says Cambiaso, Jallo, Bremer, and Danilo. So we'll throw Jallo in. I'm gonna assume Vlad is on par with David. So we'll throw Jallo.
Love that name, Jallo.
Jallo. So that'll be that there. That's kind of how we would look with the current roster without any transfers whatsoever. Currently. Again, my concern is here. Is a Locatelli Fagioli pairing going to be able to create enough for these guys here?
We already
and then
know
defensively
it's not
hold up.
They're kind of almost the same style. I don't know. I know they're not, but like they're not that quick, dynamic, explosive. They're more the methodical style, right?
Because the issue is, right, so these guys here, they're going to create. So Danilo can create and Cambiaso can create. But now the issue becomes, so Rabiot, like, I want Rabiot to play as Rabiot's best role is a libero role, where he is just that defensive workhorse where he's able to cover and just really not focus on the creative play. For me, I'm not a fan of Fagioli and Locatelli together. I think they kind of do the same thing. I just think Locatelli is a lot defensively better than Fagioli is. For me, if I were to have what I want, so I'll move him out of the way. This is what I would want for myself. I doubt it'll ever happen. But here I would want Jorginho.
Yeah, I think we came to terms with that last week. That we're kind of okay with that.
Like I totally spelled his name wrong, but whatever. I want this because he can facilitate this properly. Jorginho is perfect for this a 3-man with diamond here, or diamond, a 3-man reverse triangle. Because this allows, so like for example, on the offensive phase, Loka can now facilitate and conduct play up here. He doesn't have to worry. If Loka wins an interception here, this is awesome. Like if Loka's able to win anything here, Rabiot obviously just cover for Chiesa because Chiesa can't play defense to save his life. So Rabiot just cover the defensive gaps in here, and I would just have Jorginho essentially facilitate play this way, facilitate play that way, facilitate play for hold up for Dusan. I just, for me, I really think that you would have that, and then Fagioli would essentially be a substitution of Locatelli in the 8 role. I think this is going to be the main thing you need to fix. If you don't fix that, it doesn't matter who you have. Motta, Allegri, Ancelotti. It's going to suck. If you don't fix this, if you do not fix this specific position here, nothing will change. Nothing will change. So again, the Allegri out fans, when Motta comes in, and if they don't fix the Regista role, they will say Motta out within the first 5 weeks. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, they will.
Motta will not fix the distribution issue that we have. It won't. And like for example, here, like, and this is like, if Rabiot signs, but if Rabiot doesn't sign or renew, you can throw in Koop Myers or Semerjic in this position as well. Easily.
Shamerdic, yeah, if he's still on the docket as well, yeah, Shamerdic. Lots of profiles, man. There's so many. So many. And then we still have to see what happens with Charlie.
So you could have that, and then this midfield changes entirely. What makes Jorginho a better regista than Locatelli? I don't see. Jorginho is a phenomenal passer in the short passing game. Has some of the best vision. Watch him with Arsenal right now. He is doing his best work at Arsenal right now. I think better than he did at Chelsea, because it provides proper balance. This is essentially a balanced midfield. If you are able to have a midfield 3 of something like this, it does not matter who you put up here. You're scoring goals. You could put in Milik, and you can make Milik get 20 goals a season.
Well, that would be nice.
It would be, right? I think the one thing that Juve need to look at here is they need a bona fide right winger. I think that's the question. Unless you throw Chiesa in here and you look for another right winger. I don't know. Maybe Sule, but
Yeah.
But this position here, this is going to be important, as they need to cover all the space of that entire field. They need to be everywhere and be able to do stuff and actually, contribute to the offensive phase. This is going to be your second pivot, because that's kind of, so like Motta plays with a 2 pivot midfield, even though it's lined up like this. It's going to generally be lined up in a deep, so this is going to be your deep pivot. So normally how it works is with a Motta system. So you'll have the ball. The ball starts here, and then it'll go to Dusan. Dusan will then have to do, proper hold up and dictate where to move the ball. Should I move the ball to Weah? So it's going to, should I move the ball here? Or should I move the ball here? That's going to be what Dusan thinks about. And then what Locatelli does is when Locatelli is when the ball is at Dusan, Locatelli is going to be that secondary, that offensive pivot. So if Weah's up here, then Dusan carries on. So the ball goes to Weah, and then the ball goes back to Loca. And then Loca's essentially going to pivot and say, is it going to go here, or do I play the through ball for Weah there for him to invert and shoot and score, right? So this is going to be the double pivot, and then this role will alternate as well. So on the opposite side of the field, if there's an attack on the left, then this player becomes that pivot. So it's rotating pivots essentially on the offensive end for a Motta system. You need two pivots because he wants possession, but it's a pragmatic. It's essentially a pragmatic possession-based system. They don't create a crap ton of chances, but when they create chances, they're extremely decisive.
So, create more chances and then hope the finishing is not absolutely trash.
Yeah, it's going to be imperative. Because I don't think Xerxes comes to Juve unless, you play with two up top. And I doubt Motta comes in playing a 3-5-2. I just have a very strong doubt. You are going to see you're going to see an exodus of players. For example, I don't see Xerxes coming in. That is the one thing, unfortunately, I don't see happening. Possibly Calafiori might come in. You might move some defenders and bring in Calafiori. It could be. But I think if you were able to get Jorginho in this midfield with his press resistance, he's incredible. Jorginho's incredible at beating the press. And that's what we struggle with. We can't play out of a press. So let me just correct his name now, because I've been having this absolutely incorrect whatsoever for the longest freaking time, and it's starting to irritate me.
Finally, he's getting mad at his own spelling.
But I would be very happy if you were to get some Jorginho or something similar to Jorginho's ability, because that balances your midfield and that fixes practically 80% of your issues.
Get the
Zaniolo rumors ready. He's coming back.
Oh man, that ship has sailed. Kone and Rabiot. Morata to Juve. Yeah, I mean that's I mentioned that. So. Is it Thuram? I think
too expensive. He's too expensive, and he's a little bit raw.
Ooh. It's just the way we like it. Jorginho has an all-time press resistance. Thuram probably goes to Paris or Spain. Yeah,
more than likely.
Agree, Vlad. He always finds a gap to get rid of the ball, or just sticks his ass out and keep it at 1-2 seconds forward till the press broke down. Push back. That's how you do it. Thuram's too expensive, and then plays safe pass. Pjanic, no,
I know he's joking. I know he's joking about it, but even having Pjanic is better than what we currently have.
I suppose. All right. Well, that was the breakdown. We need to do a bit more housekeeping as well in F1 Fantasy. Guys, we have a team going. Another reason to get into the Discord. Get the fantasy going. It's hard. It's hard to pick him this week. I'm in second. KB, I don't know how he's in first right now. He doesn't even know what's going on. But KB's in first.
If he wins the league, I'm going to die laughing. He's half joking about Pjanic. Me too. Frankie says,
yeah.
Well, let me catch you outside.
Okay, so guys, get into the Discord. Concentrate. Get in the Discord and F1 Fantasy because, again, in Saudi Arabia, Ramadan's still going on, so it is another Saturday race. So, free practice 1-2 tomorrow, 3 in qualifying on Friday, and the race on Saturday. So, German Dave, I think we said we were doing it last week, but German Dave, confirm with me now, or we'll confirm later. But we're going to do the race because Sunday doesn't conflict. It's beautiful. We're going to race Saturday, and we're going to do some footy on Sunday. It's going to be double D either way. Any way you look at it, one of these is going to switch out, but we're going to do a double. Doesn't matter. Take it both. Take it any way they come at you. And confirmed, lock and load. So you have an hour and 17 minutes left until the race weekend begins to lock in your predictions. So the code is there in the F1 chat in the Discord. So do that and like and subscribe as well. Guys, the merch is a bit on hold. I'm blaming Revenue Canada, the Canadian government. I don't know what to say. So what a debacle. I'll explain it quickly. So I registered my business in Ontario. Ontario only gives you, they give you a 10-digit business number, but I have to register now for taxes federally, but they want a 9-digit number. Why Ontario gives you a 10 when you need a 9? I don't know. So I go to register online and it doesn't let me register online. So I call in. It's like, yeah, you got to fill out this form and then mail it in. Like it's 1984. You got to fill out a form and mail it. So however long mail takes, because I can't really start selling shit unless I have like some tax shit going on, right? So it's on hold because man, bureaucracy. That's where we're at right now, but it is still underway. It's happening. The other little thing as well, I gotta say, we're switching over the account on Twitter. I know I'm not super active anyways, but the old one, just go to DintheDouble Sports. That's the new one, at DintheDouble Sports. The other one's giving me troubles, account issues because of the connection with the other bullshit, and it doesn't like things. So I'm killing it. We're gonna move over. DintheDouble Sports. It's right there underneath my name. And my dogs are knocking shit over. Of course, that means it's time to go.
Time to sign off.
Okay, Vlad, let's be honest. SMS walks to our midfield. Fuck yeah, okay. SMS Saturday and Sunday. I don't work this week. Beautiful. All right, and we're still doing it very like beginner friendly for the F1, because we're trying to get a lot of you guys to become fans of it as well. Double D Sports. It's in the game. All right, there you go. That might be a little bit trademarked. That being said, Dash, I think
Go.
You good? You sleeping?
Yep.
All right.
Alrighty, everybody. Thanks for tuning into this Wednesday Tinfoil show. Again, obviously, we'll catch you this weekend for Formula One and the Juve watch along. And on that note, we shall see you then.
Good night, everyone. Can't wait. Race weekend starts and another big match with Atalanta. All right, guys. Take care. Good night.